In other words, Eddie's got maybe he gets a percentage of this or something, but he's got a deal that he can just keep mooching off of the people down there and just keep doing a little bit at a time and still never do the right thing.
I don't think that's right. I mean, I think they've done everything they could. The city has a problem down there, the county, you know, it's a city problem, a county problem. But they've done everything they could. You know, everybody had water in their basements this time, it wasn't just you. You know,
Well,
it's a problem.
I'll tell you something, Keith.
It's a problem all over.
I'll tell you something, we've had that house for about 40 years. And this is the first time we've ever had water in it.
Well, on the roads, we had up by Badger, that this guy's lived there for 40 years, and he said he's never ever seen water over the
That's
Badger
right.
blacktop.
That's right.
There was water over the Badger blacktop.
But when our tile was working, it took the water away.
Well, all of our tiles are still working up there too, and we still had water. I mean,
Well,
when
we didn't down there because we've lived there 40 years.
well, this guy's never had water like he had either up by Badger. You know,
And
we just had a normal, we've had 200-year floods in the last 2 years.
that's right.
It's hard to.
But you
can't
get
build
one
a
jump,
system.
you get one jump ahead of it, and you try to keep them clean and keep them unplugged so that they can work.
If they're working at full capacity, they're still not gonna take the rain.
Well, they're not gonna take all of it, but I'll bet you they take the biggest share of it.
We had
And
a bigger than the biggest share.
Them kids down there wouldn't have lost $20,000 worth of stuff.
Well, I'm sure there's people in our area lost $20,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, because you're in just a little bit different.
No,
area.
it was the same thing. It was water.
No, you got a little better stuff in your area than what the other people has.
It's just carpet stuff.
Them kids lost all their college stuff and everything else. Because there's one thing about it, the guy can ride his lawnmower right down in there and mow all of it down because it looks pretty. And the people's paying the same thing. Mrs. Clayton was going to be here today, but I see she didn't make it. They charge her more than anybody, and her yard floods every time. It backs across the road. The tile's like this under the road. It's supposed to go over and go down an intake in her yard. It backs over in my hayfield and floods my hayfield. And I can see that. I can see that.
You know, it's.
Yeah, I can see that. But if the tile was taking the water, it wouldn't lay in her yard for 2 or 3 days.
Well, I can take you out to a couple of my farms that have tile in it, and the water's still sitting there.
And you can take me down to the creek, and the creek's probably too full to take the water, right?
That's right.
That's right. But there ain't no creek here to take the water, so that pipe's going to take it.
Where's it go?
It goes way down toward the river.
Well, if the pipe doesn't take it, I mean, you can't, they're never gonna build a pipe big enough to take 9 inches of rain. It's
No.
just not gonna happen.
It's going to lay, but it ain't going to lay for 2 or 3 days. She couldn't even get in it. They couldn't even drive down her driveway. The water come across the road, and they parked in my parking lot and walked around the water area to get to the house.
Well, after the meeting, I can take you to my farm where I've got water running.
I can take you down there, and I think it's all silliness,
Well,
because the tile should have been cleaned first.
They've done everything they can on our end.
Not no beautifying the yard, the tile should have been cleaned. Thank you.
Thank you. Ellen, did you have something?
What I have with Mr. Eddie Peterson is that he stood and told me that he was going to repair the tile, and what couldn't be repaired, he would replace. And he knew, because I looked him right in the eye, and he knew how pleased I was that he was going to be doing something. Not go down there and just take out the tree and the little rubble in there. But instead, he did something that didn't benefit the neighborhood at all, only one person. And I don't like it, Eddie, that you don't speak the truth. You don't have to raise your eyebrows if you have something to say to me. Speak to me. I don't like gestures.
Everybody knows who I am. I am not complaining. And I'm not complaining for the people who had the damage here. I am giving you guys credit. First of all, most of your, or a lot of your farmers are involved with farming some way or another. You got water in your field, you lost part of your crops, you got damage. You know, you're not probably gonna get a check from Uncle Sam, but you might. But the people that we're concerned about here are just plain working people that live in an area that does give water and will get water as long as they're at the bottom of the hill. Water does not go uphill, never has, it's not going to start today. That's the miracle. But Eddie's done everything he can to help us out there. And of course he gets upset. You don't know how mad I got at the meeting recently, so I understand. I saw the plans on these drainage yesterday. They were prepared for us by Green, what's her name? Planner, yeah. And anyway, I got to see them. And the plans are for both the old that they had before and for the new revision that they put in there. The plans look okay except for the part going from a certain area I've already talked to Eddie about, and it goes to the north and is trying to run it uphill. It won't do it. First of all, it's not even hooked to anything. There's nothing hooked to it at all. No drain going to a river, going to a sewer or anything. It's just blocked. It should be going across the street, approximately where his building is, big building is, and going down in through there, going to the river. It should be able to do that. That would eliminate his grass field being wet and everything else like he has right at the moment. There's no big problem there. It's just a matter of somebody taking a look at it. That is city side. That is not the county side. Where the city is, there's very little water. Where the county side is very little water. We have very few problems. What happened this time was because of the amount of rain we got. 14 inches of rain in 3 days. That's a hell of a lot of water, period. Some places got 17, some places got 12. So we have to get the 14-inch rain. So I think that's where our problem was. We just got too much water.